This is episode number 1 of the Feed Me, Fuel Me podcast with Jeff Thornton, Michael Anders, and Jason Sani. Welcome to the Feed Me, Fuel Me podcast. My name is Jeff Thornton, tech entrepreneur and fitness enthusiast, alongside Michael Anders, owner of Next Level Performance and Fitness Consulting, and Jason Sani, owner of Active Mind and Body. Each week we bring you an inspiring person or message related to our 4 pillars of success: manifestation, business, fitness, and nutrition. Thank you for allowing us to join you on your journey. Now let's get started.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Feed Me, Fuel Me podcast. I'm Michael Anders, here with Jeff Thornton and Jason Sani.
What's up?
This is episode 1 officially. We gave it the alpha. We gave it an honest shot last week with little Facebook Live input and a lot of lessons learned from that very first experience. So we're going to take those lessons learned and apply them now. I guess today we're going to give you a sneak peek of what's to come with the podcast in the sense of format, dialogue, and subject matter, and just let you know what's coming down the pipe as we get this thing rolling.
Right.
So, yeah, I think we got an awesome 3-headed dragon here between the 3 of us, and something that we can all speak to with experience and intelligence is manifestation, fitness, nutrition, and ultimately business, as all 3 of us are entrepreneurs. And we'll dive into that real quick with some intros. I myself own Next Level Performance and Fitness Consulting, which is the parent company of CrossFit PHX and Cryo PHX, and do a lot of motivational speaking, strength coaching, and remote programming for people all over the world. So that's kind of my background. I got a master's from Arizona State in fitness and conditioning, bachelor's from East Texas State in health and human performance, and my CSCS with the NSCA on top of being a CrossFit level 1 trainer. So that's kind of my background. That's where I come from. Made the evolution from college football to bodybuilding to CrossFit, and CrossFit is the community that brought the 3 of us together.
Nice. Yeah. So I'm Jeff Thornton. I am the owner of 8T Incorporated, and that's the parent company of my Thornton Consulting Company, which is my software development, basically SAP, environmental health and safety. And born and raised in New Mexico, Alamogordo, New Mexico to be exact, product of Holloman Air Force Base or Air Force parents.
There you go.
So my background, I played football as a kid coming up 7th grade through college. Went to university at New Mexico Highlands University, played there. After I finished football, I transitioned into bodybuilding for 5 years. And then last year, moved out to Scottsdale, Arizona, stumbled across CrossFit PHX, and then got into my CrossFit journey, and that's where we are today. So.
Right on.
Beautiful. My name is Jason Sani, originally from the Northwest. Grew up in Eugene, Oregon, home of Nike and University of Oregon.
Go Ducks.
That's right. Made my transition down to Arizona to transfer down here for school after a couple of years up at Oregon, and pursued business. And initially, I always had an interest and a passion in fitness and nutrition, but my definition of success, I think, changed pretty quick after finishing up with school, and did the corporate world for a little while, and I was drawn back to where I was passionate, and studied nutrition. I studied integrative nutrition and put it into practice. So started working, with clients. I had worked for multiple different gyms. Started my own business, Active Mind and Body, which acts as a platform that I do consulting, coaching, everything from corporate workshops, wellness workshops, and then started another business, Clubs Fitness, which was a platform that I did, training through a DVD platform that we did marketing online and so on. So where I've been drawn, my biggest passion is come with fitness or nutrition and the culinary side of it in regards to the athletic side of it for performance and just performing in general in life. And extremely blessed to be doing something I'm so passionate about, and it's drawn me closer to to this whole fitness community, and brings me here today.
Right.
Nice. So some of the stuff that we're gonna be covering in depth from week to week are those 4 pillars that we talked about. We stand very strong on manifesting the life that you want, and using the laws of attraction in the universe, and whatever higher power that you believe in or subscribe to assist you in elevating your life to where you want and being more productive in a more positive space. On top of that, the unifying factor between the 3 of us, is fitness for sure. All 3 of us being athletes and playing at the collegiate level, fitness has been a major part of our life for, since the very beginning. And then from there, when you decide that you're ready to go ahead and dial it in, nutrition becomes paramount. And ultimately, as entrepreneurs and business owners, all 3 of those building blocks play into our success in the entrepreneurial space. So when it comes to getting it done and being ultimately happy with your process, regardless of where you're at in the space, positive, negative, adversity, or thriving success, all 4 of those pillars come into play in determining your outcome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I want to touch on that idea, where we talk about the topic of manifestation and cultivating the things in our life, and it's just the idea of having a goal of, chasing progression or finding some sort of purpose that aligns with your self-awareness. And, how you do, a lot of people say how you do anything is how you do everything, and I feel like all of these pillars are so closely related. And it's something that I talk about, and I've referenced, the idea of a recipe. And a recipe is a guide. It's just like having an address or a direction of where you're going. And, you can look up and ask what, some chef's favorite recipe is, and it's not going to make your food or your meal taste the same thing. And it's the same thing with like a business plan. It's an idea, it's a guide. And, I know I'm taking a lot of joy and excitement in hearing what these guys' recipes are, and be able to share the different experience and different methods and where we've taken our different routes, all based on where our end state goal is. So I know I'm always thinking food, but tying the whole recipe, I think that it's a challenge to understand that, just like with a recipe, the first thing is just keeping it simple, getting started, like thinking what the methods are behind everything. But you got to have some sort of that goal if you're trying to bring anything true into your life, and it's so finding what means the most to you, and that self-purpose, that awareness, and I think it makes it all that much more fun, enjoying that process.
Right. Yeah, and you always hear about like finding your why is the first thing
Sure.
to creating your success. And I think the part when it comes to like setting anything in your life is, for me, it's always been trusting yourself first.
Totally.
Without doubt, because if you don't have the belief in yourself or have that confidence, who else will, right?
Right.
And so it's being able to trust your instincts and trust what you're built to do in life and going towards that path. Because even what like brings us together on this podcast today is the fact that we all have such different backgrounds. You guys are cemented in the fitness industry, owner of gyms, owner of fitness websites and supplement companies and things like that. And my background is mostly in tech. So my background's computer science programming. Like, how in the hell is this guy, right?
Well, don't sell yourself short. Everybody knows you a Snapchat guru.
Oh,
man.
yeah,
Come
man.
on. Your story is long and distinguished. So
Yeah.
Don't sell yourself short in that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But it's like saying being in the business of the fitness is the part where I'm trying to get understanding from, from you guys. You guys have, a vast amount of knowledge that I continue to learn from each and every day. And I think from a long point, I've always heard my journey is different. I've weighed 260 pounds. Now I'm like 190 or whatever. But it comes to the point to where I've always told myself like, you should jump into fitness. I've said, oh no, I don't want to go fitness because I can't make money. I can't do this or whatever. So I always led towards tech. But eventually through my path, I've seen no matter what I've done, fitness has been
Mm-hmm.
the staple in my life that's kept me consistent.
Right.
And so that's what I'm glad we started this podcast, because now I'm sort of like, I'm going all in on fitness and saying, you know
Right.
what? The consulting, it's been good. Tech has been great. I'm still going to use that.
Right.
But let's go leverage those abilities in another area of business at
Exactly.
this point now.
Yeah.
Something that you're passionate about and that your strength is, because you can make money, but if you're unsatisfied, if you're not
Sure.
happy with what you're doing, what's the ultimate purpose? Life's too short to really worry about.
It's the money thing is, I think, a key, because a lot of people lead their life thinking that there's a certain dollar amount that you
Right.
have to meet, that you have to achieve to be happy,
Right.
to find fulfillment and happiness. And I can't remember where I read it or who I was talking to. It's said, or studies show, that in American society today, anything above and beyond, I want to say $72,000
Mhm.
annually, money is no longer stimulates happiness.
Right.
So if you want to use that as a benchmark, for where I've been in my professional journey and in my life, you can live really well,
Right.
and support a family, and put a couple kids through college
Right.
on 72 grand,
Right.
and live a quality lifestyle and not miss out on anything, so to me, when I define success, it's not chasing the dollar.
Right.
And when I felt like I made the leap to that next level, I started looking at what I was able to do with my time in terms of productivity versus how much money I was going to make doing it. And when I shifted my focus, and in the scales of balance, time weighed more than money.
Right.
Success just started to come in abundance.
Right.
And I want to add to that. I think that's powerful. A mindset that, like I said, my definition of success had changed. Coming out of school, I think I came from, just as anybody can define how you want, kind of a more humble upbringing. I wanted to have what other people had, go travel and have these nice things, and more of these products. And I remember journaling this idea of, like, I think it was the 10 things I wanted to have, 10 things I wanted to be, 10 things I wanted to do. And to sum this up, looking at that same list about 10 years later, the things that I want to have are so much more less important than what I want to do and what I want to be in regards to being a father, being a husband, being an author, being a speaker, a mentor, and all these different things. And the mindset has completely changed as well, whereas like before you could throw a dollar figure on it and say, it's like coming out of school, all my friends got into like the mortgage business and banking because it was like easy money, you go buy a table and access radius. I mean, literally the interview was, I'm not even kidding, it was like, you do well, you close some deals, and you go pop some bottles. Like it was like borderline.
That's the recipe.
I'm not even kidding though. We were, for the interview, they were like, the guy like literally said, look out in the parking lot. He's like, you see all those nice cars? I was like, yeah, I see them. He's like, you want one of those? And I was like, yeah, I want one of those. He's like, get in there and make some calls. So where I'm going with, and then I initially had some success because I took that competitive background that I had and was just like, all right, well, let's apply this in here of trying to be competitive and chase the success as fast as I can and kind of do it as well as I could. And what I'm going with is like the difference of I've had, let's say at a young age, I had something like $50,000 in my savings account from just doing well, and I didn't really have a lot of expenses compared to being in debt, maybe close to $20,000, like trying to start a business and all the different expenses.
Yeah.
The feeling, and you would think that's such an extreme difference, but it's not, because the feeling that I had being in debt was like, all right, something's clicking now. Like, it can't get a whole lot worse. I'm doing what I love to do. And this is when I took that leap of faith.
Right.
And I would tell myself to make myself feel better that, and it's not like a badge of honor or courage that you get for taking this step, but it's like other people went through the same type of thing. And I realized that as I've built my network and people realize that I'm following something that I love, there's a lot of value in that. And then if I really needed to tap into $50,000 that I was saving up to, now I have a network of people that would easily collectively come together and we could invest in something I want to do rather than think I need to do it all on my own.
Right.
So you're obviously more powerful when you're doing something with a bigger group, hence here we are today. But it was so powerful to realize that it wasn't about that dollar figure, it was about, I felt more rich doing something that I loved and knowing that my time was more valuable. Even if I was in debt, I couldn't imagine just like trying to just save up this piggy bank to be able to have things, because it's so empty. And I've been around so many people that are quote unquote established and have all these nice things, but yet something's missing,
Empty.
you know. And it's a lot more challenging to find that down the road. So I mean, when you can search and find that thing that you can't get enough of, that wakes you up. I know it sounds so cheesy, but it's like you've struck gold,
right?
You know, and if you know there's gold, if you know there's a gold mine downstairs in your basement, like you're not gonna forget about that. You're going back down there to dig, and you're gonna stay at it.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what, to me, like finding that purpose is. And you know, now it's just it's going after it.
Right.
Well, that's absolutely right, man. You hit the nail on the head with that.
You know, the biggest thing when it comes time to take that leap, you're never going to be absolutely ready. No. You're never going to have your shit completely together. You're never going to have enough information to, you know, knock it out of the park on the first try. There's going to be a lot, and by a lot, I mean I mean that in the truest sense of the word. I mean, there's a lot of bumps and bruises to go along with, you know, pursuing your happiness.
But it's worth
it. Know, yeah. You know, like I wake up every day at 4:00 in the morning, you know, and I don't hate my life.
Right.
You know what I mean? And no matter what, every single day I'm doing something to make myself better.
Right.
Be it fitness or nutrition or networking, you know, and just all the hardship along the way, you know, has made me who I am today and brought me to this place, you know, as I stand here with you guys. And I think that's the biggest message as I meet more and more people like us who have made that commitment to themselves, and instead of chasing the dollar, chased happiness. Those are some of the most enlightened individuals I've ever met. They have so much to say, and everything that they put out into the world comes from a space of authenticity that doesn't necessarily exist in the corporate sector. You know, when you talk about, oh, I can't leave my job because of benefit. You know, I get great benefits and all that kind of good stuff. Like, that makes rational sense. But when you wake up every single day unfulfilled and go and spend the majority of the day with, you know, people that don't necessarily make you better, you know, in pursuit of something that doesn't really bring you joy, like, what is that dollar actually worth?
Sure. And I mean, a lot of those people, it's like you can't wait till happy hour, you can't wait till the weekend, and all this. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people that have jobs that it might not align with their ultimate like meaning in life, but it provides them with a vehicle to do other things.
Sure.
And so on. But I mean, a pattern that I wanted to add to what you're saying is, and I think that we can speak of this for all three of us, is with what we do is an act of service, of bringing people together. So not only progressing and bettering our lives, it's bettering other people's lives. Like, and you know, it's so true that you help somebody else out. It's the best way to help yourself out. And the more, and if you can make a habit or a ritual, or if that's part of your business, is that act of service, like that's really what life is about. It's like impacting other people's lives. Sure. That is going to make you feel so much more rich, and you're never going to be lonely knowing that you're helping people on a regular basis. And people see that, and it creates like a chain reaction that goes so much further than just the pay it forward. I mean, yeah, that's real, but it's the truth, and you're doing it in your own life on a regular basis, where it's like, or you can just go chase something just directly to acquire as much as you possibly can. And it's like, I think we all know a lot of people that they got a big bank account, but they're lonely, you know what I mean? And it's like, so keeping it positive though, it's like thinking about that, I think that brings so much value, you know, and from a factor to longevity, it's like you could have all the money in the world, but try to buy all these longevity tools. But they've shown from research over and over again in these blue zones and so on that the people that live the longest are social. They have a purpose for why they're doing what they're doing. If your purpose is just stacking up your 401k or savings or whatever, like that's a great thing to be able to have support. But if that's your purpose, there's not enough meaning there. But if your purpose is to provide to your community and that act of service, you got something to wake you up. You have something to stay healthy for. You have something to keep your energy high. It's at a higher level, and it's bigger than yourself.
Right. That's absolutely right. I think for the biggest thing too is like, it sounds like we're saying like don't get money. Like, yeah, get money. No, we're not
Right,
saying
yeah,
that.
yeah,
It's just that don't look for money to provide you the happiness.
Mm-hmm.
Get money just to get money as a tool, like anything.
As a
Money's just
vehicle.
it's just a hammer, like anything else, just a tool. You can
Mhm.
build with it, you can destroy with it.
Right.
But don't let that be the center point of your world.
Mhm.
When you, like you said, when you do acts of service, you create the life that you want around you. All of that stuff, it intensifies and it comes towards you in a way.
Right.
And it sounds funny to say, by just getting that thought process of like, I'm doing what I love, I'm helping people, it's gonna come to you,
Right.
you know. But just don't have that money and say the monetization that's gonna be my happiness. When I have 100 in my bank, man, I'm gonna be so much. It doesn't matter. Like no
Mhm.
dollar amount
Right.
will matter to the amount of connections you build in your life,
Right.
to just everything. I mean, it's just
Something that really stuck with me early on in my entrepreneurial endeavors was somebody told me one time, when you die, you can't take it with you.
right.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not to say that A, you shouldn't pursue wealth, or B, you should squander the wealth that you accumulate. That's not the point I'm trying to make.
Mm-hmm.
But like you were saying, Jeff, money and financial prosperity should be utilized as a vehicle to make your environment that much better,
Right.
not necessarily to facilitate your happiness
Right.
in its entirety.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we're on a mission to keep each episode about half hour in length, and this is kind of where we're gonna go, and we're gonna take all these principles that we've referenced, and our personal experiences and the research that we've done and other people have done, and then eventually bring some more subject matter experts as guests on the show.
Right.
We're gonna kind of knock down some of the myths and misconceptions and the virtual hurdles that we create for ourselves
Mm-hmm.
that keep us from living that positive, purposeful life, and inhibit us from being as productive as we really want to be. And like I said, when we kick this thing off, those 4 pillars are the manifestation of the life you want, and where fitness, nutrition, and business fit into that scope.
Right. Absolutely.
With actionable tips, and I think that's
Yes.
it's something that I think that with every episode, I know I'm excited to get something from it, but I know that that's a big goal of mine, is to provide people with the steps or the tools. In some cases, it's not necessarily a shortcut. It's just like, we're going to show you where the door is.
Yeah.
Right.
But there's a lot of value in knowing, I think, what success leaves footprints, however you want to define
Right.
success. But
Mhm.
if there's an area of something that you want to go, if you want to improve a facet of your life, look at the steps of where those people got started and move in that direction. But it all goes with having an idea of where you want to go.
Yep.
And you got to get started, and it's like the first attempt at this, we threw some stuff and some things will stick to the wall. Got a little messy, but it's the best thing, keep it real. It's
Right.
real.
Yep.
We're going to do it.
Mhm.
And here we are. So it's that whole principle that I love, is the ready, the fire ready aim.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
You got to get going, and you can always adjust as you go. But
Sure.
you will rise to the occasion. That's my favorite.
Mhm.
Everything I can think is just act as your ideal self. You'll rise to the occasion.
Yep.
But we need that challenge to get us to grow.
Right.
Totally.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, hey, this is the beta, episode 1.
Yeah.
Feed me, fuel me. You can find us on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the above, at Feed Me, Fuel Me. And you can find me at Coach Durs, and our fitness family at CrossFit PHX on Instagram and Twitter. What about you guys? Where can they find your individual personas and see what you're up to?
Absolutely. So individual, all social medias, I am Jeff Thornton, website as well. And we'll link up all the podcast information on all of our sites,
Yep.
as well as the feedmefuelme.com. So be looking forward to that, and also look in the podcast show notes as well.
Very cool. And all my stuff is at Jason Sutton SANI. So most active currently on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook. So sharing tips, recipes for the mind and the body.
Perfect.
Love it.
Yeah, if there's feel free to reach out to us on any of those platforms and let us know anything that you're interested in us talking about, and we'll make sure that we can build a broadcast around the information that you're genuinely interested in. We'll make that happen. So, hey.
Love it.
Yeah, thanks for letting us be a part of your journey, and we hope that we offer, something that some information that you can take advantage of and apply to your life and, help you level up and achieve that higher self. I know that's what all three of us are after, and if we can help you in that pursuit, it's our pleasure, and we find a lot of joy in being a part of that journey with you.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Hey, Feed Me, Fuel Me. You can catch us weekly, every Friday from here on out. You can catch the show. So, yeah, we're out.
We're out.
Awesome.
There you have it, crew. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, be sure to check out the full show notes and get connected with us at feedmefuelme.com/001. Also, be sure to subscribe to all of our information and social media on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter at feedmefuelme. We're looking forward to hearing and connecting with each and every one of you. If you found this episode inspiring in any way, please share it with your friends on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter, or any other social platforms that you use. We really appreciate you spending your time with us today and allowing us to join you on your journey. Before we end this episode, we would like to end on a positive quote by 3-time Olympic track and field champion Gail Devers, and she says, "Every accomplishment starts with a decision to try." Thank you again, and we will catch you on the next episode.